Alright, you just moved to Toronto, and I want to let you guys know 5 quick things you need to know before getting settled in the city. So first up, I want to talk about public transit here in Toronto. If I'm being completely honest, I've only taken the subway about maybe 2 times, and the streetcar on King Street West to and from my office, and that is it. But I can tell you a little bit about it. So here in Toronto, we have subway lines, streetcar lines, Ubers, taxis, bicycles, you name it to get around. My personal preference is my car. It gets you from A to B a lot quicker, and honestly, I don't carry around change to get on the subway. And the only time I really use TTC is to get to and from my office, and that's only when it's raining or snowing and I don't feel like walking 4 extra minutes. I also do not own an umbrella, so that's crazy talk. I'm not gonna carry that around. Tokens I don't have, but the good news is there's a Presto card available for you to use to get to and from wherever you're going. Here in Toronto, we have a TD bicycle share program. Again, you couldn't pay me money to ride a bicycle here in Toronto because I know how aggressive I am when I'm driving my car. And again, that's crazy talk to me, but you do have that option. And these TD bike share places, the stops are all around the city. So for you, it's super easy if you go to and from work to jump on a bike, drop it off at work, and I've heard it's very cheap. And if you're like me, I would much rather pay any amount of money to avoid the TTC, so I'm gonna hop in an Uber or a Lyft any day over taking TTC. And to get to and from small little spots, it's pretty quick and easy, and honestly, it's very effortless, and it's only a few bucks. And if you don't have access to a cell phone or any sort of data, I guess you can call a taxi, but you're talking to the wrong guy because I couldn't even tell you one single phone to call to get a taxi here in Toronto. I don't even know if they exist, but good luck. If you don't have a cell phone, if you don't want to pay for an Uber and you want to jump on the subway and you want to go anywhere in the city, I know there's 4 lines here in Toronto. The main lines run north, south, east, and west, obviously, and it's a very simplified system. Not like some of the major cities like New York, LA. Our system here is very, very straightforward and very easy to navigate, which is actually quite nice. And that brings me to my second point, the traffic here in Toronto. I've driven in some of the major cities around North America, New York, LA, Miami, and honestly, the traffic here can get pretty bad, especially through our rush hour time. The rush hour time here in Toronto seems to span from anywhere from 2 till about 7 o'clock. And honestly, anything downtown, just know there's no parking and the traffic's gonna be bad. For the most part, it's a grid system, so driving around is actually fairly straightforward. However, there's a lot of one-way streets and some weird tricky turns with the streetcar tracks that can be very entertaining to watch, especially if you're not from the city and you're trying to navigate these weird turns. As a local, it's great to watch and fun to honk at the cars that are making those wrong turns. To wrap up those 2 points, if you don't want to spend money on Uber, you don't feel like taking public transit, if you don't feel comfortable taking the TTC, and if you don't want to pay money for a car or to take Ubers, talk to your local realtor and make sure you get situated in the spot where you can easily access everything by walking distance, and that is extremely doable here in Toronto. And there's a few really cool little spots like Liberty Village and the Distillery District that literally have everything you need all by foot within a 5-10 minute radius. So make sure to talk to your realtor and get situated in a neighborhood that best suits your needs. This brings me to point number 3, the weather here in Toronto, Ontario. Of course it's Canada, so it's gonna be a little chilly. However, I honestly find that we don't get as much snow here than other northern cities. And my theory is, I'm no expert here. Let me first of all say that. I am by no means a weather person, but I think the reason we have a bit of a better temperature and less snow is from all the high rises. It blocks that weather from coming off the lake and protects you from that wind chill and blocks the snow from coming into the downtown city core. I've always lived in the downtown core and it's honestly a little mild compared to some other cities. If you do venture to the harborfront area right by the water, I find it can make a drastic difference being that much closer to the water. But as long as you have your nice warm jacket, gloves, and a hat, you're good to go to pretty much walk anywhere in Toronto. But let's talk about the important stuff like our summers. Summers start from about May till end of September. The reason it's such a great time to be in Toronto is because we feel so locked up during our cold, gloomy winters that during the summer, everybody's out every single day of the week. Every patio is busy, every restaurant's busy, and it's a really, really fun time, especially be right in the downtown core. There really is so much to do during the summer, other than just going to patios and restaurants. We have Toronto Island, you can go to the Jays games, tons of bike paths along Lakeshore with amazing views. The summer really is a great spot here in Toronto, and that's why I never leave the city in the summers, because I'm always here enjoying it every single day that I can. And now the 4th thing you need to know before you move to Toronto. There are many different neighborhoods here in Toronto, and they all have their unique little names and totally different vibes. One of my absolute favorite things about this city is that you can walk a 5-10 minute radius and you're gonna pass through multiple different neighborhoods, all with completely different feels, different buildings, different types of living, and different people. For example, we have Yorkville. It is definitely a really cool spot in the city. There's tons of luxury shopping, some great high-end restaurants to check out. It is a definitely more expensive part of the city to live, and if that's the type of lifestyle you want, I highly suggest you check out Yorkville. But just because you want to live downtown doesn't mean that it's always going to be expensive. We have neighborhoods like Queen West, Ossington Village, which are super affordable and still in the downtown core or close enough to it. So again, one of the most important things you can do here is talk to your local realtor. They're gonna make sure they understand your type of lifestyle that you're looking for, your needs and wants, and which area is gonna best suit you. That way you don't have any regrets when you're moving to the city. And this brings me to point number 5, which is my favorite because I honestly think a lot of locals don't even know about this. But here in Toronto, underground, we have a stretch of 19 kilometers that houses restaurants, clothing, and an amazing way to get around the city without ever stepping foot outside. If you're someone like me who doesn't like to get wet and definitely doesn't own an umbrella, again, I suggest talking to your realtor and getting yourself situated in a condo that's path connected. There are quite a few, especially in the downtown core, that the condo itself is actually path connected so you can get from point A to point B without ever going outside. If you're enjoying this video and the content that I'm putting out, please hit the subscribe button below and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that I put out.